I've played tons of NES games, from racing games to sports games to off-the-wall platformers that defined an entire era and kept you all busy as kids and gave me as a kid of the 90s an insight into how games used to be. A while back, I did an episode talking about 10 puzzle games on the NES that in my opinion were the best, and for whatever reason, I decided to wait a little bit before addressing the worst puzzle games on the NES, so that's what I'm going to do today. These games that I'm about to mention are more than bad puzzle games. They are a testament to the sins of mankind. They are grossly unfun, nightmares that will not tickle your brain, but instead will cause aneurysms. So play them at your own risk. Lord knows I don't look forward to streaming these at all. Let's begin. I love Tetris. This is a very well-known fact on the channel. It's a very important game to me. My grandmother and I play it every single time she comes to visit, and most of the time I stream it. So if you see her, feel free to pop in and say hello. But to quote my grandmother, the worst thing you can do to Tetris is try to change it, to make it different, to add these stupid elements that play zero role in the baseline Tetris other than to irritate the shit out of you. Tetris consists of rotate, drop, clear lines. So how can Nintendo make it better? Apparently by throwing it in a blender with failed ideas from Dr. Mario. To me, this is an ugly adopted cousin of Tetris, and it's what happens when a greedy company gets their hands on a formula and decides the best thing to do with said formula is to completely change it. It's not a sequel. It's an identity crisis in a cartridge. So if you want to play Tetris, just play Tetris. This game will piss you off. Got herself a fancy little unlicensed game here. This one by Thin Chin Enterprise and published by the edgelords known as American Video Entertainment. It's basically Tetris, but not at all Tetris. The whole idea is that you get these oddly shaped stones and they drop, and yeah, you're supposed to fill in the gaps, but with all these strange angles for the stones that are falling, you're bound to have a bad time. Because more often than not, you can't complete the angle. Much like Tetris, if it reaches the top, you're done, you're boned, and you lose. Thin Chin Enterprises made 8 different games on the NES, one of which is a porn game for the Famicom. It's called Mahjong Companion if you're curious. A little strip Mahjong game, and to be honest, I would rather play that than Pyramid any day. Oh no, gotta put the face of shame at the bottom of this one. Bubble Bath Babes is one of 3 games created by Hacker International that are sex games. I don't mean like literal sex, they just tried to make sex sell, and they did so by hitting the popular casino games of the era, like Hot Slots, a slot machine game, and Peekaboo Poker, a strip poker game. But this is Bubble Bath Babes, and it's basically a reverse Tetris, with some third-rate hoe sitting at the bottom scratching her ass while you shoot up bubbles. You get the same effect by playing Tetris upside down with a Barbie doll under your TV, and to be honest, it's much cheaper too. These games are not cheap. If you want to play this without the booba, you can play Mermaids of Atlantis, the Riddle of the Magic Bubble, which is the exact same game from the exact same people, no more no less. It's a lame attempt at making sex sell, but for that to work, the game has to be playable. Where's Waldo is a long time-cherished book series from the mind of Martin Hanford. If you're from Europe, you might know this as Where's Wally, but in America, he's Waldo, and apparently he really likes to hide. So how do we take this idea and make it harder? Well, put it on the NES, where it feels like you're trying to find one specific snowflake during a blizzard. It's slow, it's imprecise, and honestly, it's stupid easy. But if you like dragging a cursor across a screen like you're moving a dead rat across sandpaper, then yeah, this is the game for you. I actually find it disrespectful to call this an 8-bit game because it looks like it's a solid 2-bit game drawn with crayon on a screen door. To be fair, you can just click to your heart's desire. As far as I know, the game won't punish you except for maybe taking some time away because, yeah, there's a timer as well. It's just a really bad game, and to be honest, the franchise did go places in the future, but this is where it started, and no, it's not good. Between me and you, this is a game I actually had somewhat high hopes for because it looked really interesting. Then I saw who developed it. You're gonna see a trend that unlicensed puzzle games were common as blades of grass. I like to think that they were easy to program and you could shit them out like dysentery on the Oregon Trail. In Shockwave, our whole job is to recover these power crystals left behind by some bullshit alien race, while competing with another alien race who is trying to recover it before you do. It's one of those games where if you make one minuscule mistake, you've effectively soft-locked the stage, and try as I might, this game was just not for me. The Shockwave mechanic works if you plan the whole stage out before you begin, but with the time pressure, that can be really hit or miss, and I'm not a fan of trial and error in any capacity. It might be for you, but it definitely isn't for me. You ever play Mahjong? Then you might know what these tiles look like. What about Shanghai? It's where you stack up tons of Mahjong tiles and remove pairs. Now with that being said, there was one more derivative I was exposed to through gaming, and that is Shien Shell, or Four Rivers. And the way it works is that instead of matching pairs across the pile, we need a direct line with no more than 2 bends, which also do not pass through any other tile on the board. And yes, speaking that out loud to you, I still don't understand how the fuck to play this game, which is unlicensed by the way. A majority of these are. If you do want to check this one out, then do yourself a favor and just brute force your way through it until you understand how to play it, because if you try to read the manual, you'll be confused. And should you have the box, this asshole stares at you the whole time like your ass stinks. Look at this. Want to be a dude that may or may not have an attitude? Then this game is for you. It's not for me, but it may be for you. Another unlicensed mistake brought to us by the clinically brain-dead chimpanzees at American Video Entertainment. This is a run-of-the-mill brain rot nightmare. You basically choose an avatar, aka dude, then you guide said dude through objects while constantly moving left and right. You see there's gems all over the place. Some of them are a specific color, so we need to hit the paint can, then change colors, then move all around this, stage, hitting the specific color of jewels that matches whatever color our body is. It's cool for like 3 minutes until you realize that this is all that this is. And it's not like it's challenging. It's not. You can't pick the wrong color jewels, so you just bounce off of it. Eventually enemies will show up, but I never cared to make it that far. You know, as someone with ADHD, I find myself creating loops all the time. God forbid I have a drawstring on my pants, because I'm so easily distracted by the fact that they're there, and by the laws of nature and man themselves, I must fiddle with them. It's like my right leg. It needs to bounce, because for it not to bounce, the world cannot exist. I like to think that the developers of this game were also in tune with the mental stimulus of looping, because they made a game all around it. And this wasn't just an NES game. No. This was on fucking everything, from DOS all the way to the Jaguar. You remember Pipe Dream? It was one of the best puzzle games on the NES to me, and it was simple. You would get a piece, you could make paths for water, and yeah, it's stupid, but I liked it. Loops is the exact same thing, except you don't know what the next piece is, and your only objective is to make loops. And if I was a kid of the era and I knew the whole gimmick was to make loops, and I looked at the cover of the box and saw that the developers only managed to get one loop complete with all the extra bullshit on there, I would have walked away. True story. I shit on a few companies fairly regularly on my channel. One of my least favorite publishers out there is High Tech Expressions, and one of my least favorite developers is Software Toolkits. So what would happen if you put these two together? You would have one of the 3 games that they collaborated on. Bear in mind, Software Toolkits wasn't always shit. They did a few interesting educational games like Mavis Beacon Typing, Mario's Time Machine, even some chess games, but this one is a fucking fever dream from hell. The plot says that there's some evil wizard who mastered the ability to control a black hole, and he wants to control the universe, and you're the only idiot that's brave enough and/or capable enough to figure out how to take him down. You do this by piloting your Millennium Orb across the black holes like a shitty basketball in orbit, going through hoops and popping out to take out the enemies. It's also one of the few NES games to come with 3D glasses. What a time to be alive. To me, it's like a failed tech demo for a planetarium software that got hijacked by a Pong enthusiast. It's not fun at all. If there's one thing I can say about humanity, it's that we've made a habit of making really dumb shit popular, and in the 20th century, that dumb shit usually came in the form of novelty dolls, like Raggedy Ann, Beanie Babies, fucking Cabbage Patch Kids. But there's one novelty doll that manifested in the 60s that's amplified the dumb shit 20-fold. Troll dolls. They were tiny, bug-eyed, naked-ass gremlins with gravity-defying hair and a fashion sense of a runway show curated by Guy Fieri on acid. And guess what? It never went anywhere. It's still popular. My kids watch the Troll movie at least twice a month, and because it never went anywhere and due to it being such a fad, you bet your sweet nutsack someone was going to pick it up. But who would it be? Would it be LJN? Would it be Acclaim? Would it be Ocean? Nope. It would be American Video Entertainment, the gurus of unlicensed bullshit. It's funny too, because it's basically the exact same thing as Dudes with Attitude. You just walk around left and right, occasionally bathing yourself in paint, and then collect objects, be it hearts or bricks or jewels. It wouldn't surprise me, and it's extremely boring. Like, you wouldn't believe how boring this game is. It's 100% worth passing up. And that's it for today's episode. What NES puzzle games are your least favorite? Feel free to tell the community down in the comments section below. Who knows, maybe you'll share something in common. Speaking of our community, if you made it to the end of this episode, you're already home with us. We're a gathering of video game enthusiasts that love to remember when life was just a little bit easier to live. And if you align with that, feel free to subscribe. Finally, the single most important thing you could do for me is to hit that thumbs up button, as it directly affects the visibility of the videos and the projects that I work on every single day. As always, from my family to your family, good energy, good vibes. Fortefyre out.